April 14th, 4:38 p.m. A tax preparer's office in Sacramento. You walk out owing an answer nobody told you existed. It started with a bank statement, $40 of interest. The trust is valid, the tax ID is real, and the $40 is already somebody's income. So here's the question. Whose return does your trust's income land on? Nobody at that desk can tell you. 9 digits came from the IRS on a letter. Your trust name sits at the top. It looks like the moment your trust became its own person, which is a fair read because the number of its own looks like a taxpayer of its own. You opened an account with it, the bank asked for it and wrote it down. Every form after that treated it like its own file. A tax ID has one job, and it is a small one. It identifies. It does not decide who owes anything. A driver's license identifies you at a counter. It has never paid a bill. None of this is about which form gets filed. The question is, which taxpayer the income belongs to? 37%. You heard that number somewhere in the last year. Every comment section on this subject says it back to you. The rate is real. The part nobody repeats is what the rate lands on. It lands on income the trust keeps. Money that moves out to a person is a different lane entirely. Income the trust hands over generally stops being the trust's income. A trust also reaches the top rate on an amount a person would call ordinary. So every year it sits on income instead of moving it, the trust loses ground. And when a return is required, it comes due on a calendar. The calendar doesn't wait for anyone to work out whose return it is, and it never says so out loud. The date arrives whether the question got answered or not. And the answer sits in a document nobody at the bank ever read. You've been watching the switch this whole time. Revocable on one side, irrevocable on the other. That switch answers a real question, and the question is control. It is not the switch this question runs on. The one running this is called grantor status. It asks a simpler question. Who still holds power over the trust? Power to take property back? Power to swap it? Power to say who benefits? Swap is the one people walk past. The power to trade property in and out at equal value can keep the income where it started. It counts when you can use it in no fiduciary role, and no fiduciary has to approve it. On the page, it looks like housekeeping. Say your trust carries that clause, and you are the one holding it. Hold enough of it, and the income keeps your name. Hold none of it, and the trust becomes a taxpayer on its own. The switch gets set when your trust is drafted, and it does not stay put on its own. Who holds those powers now, and how your trust actually gets run, count two. 2 positions, 1 switch, and none of it shows up on the letter. Your $40 is under the ordinary threshold for a trust to file its own return. That is the amount question, and it is the easy one. So set it aside and raise the number. Same trust, same year, $4,000 of interest. Now the amount is past the threshold, and the only thing left to settle is whose income it is. 1 is a personal return. The name line at the top reads you. The $4,000 belongs to your own income and gets taxed there. 1 is a fiduciary return, which the trust files for itself at $4,000. The name line at the top reads the trust. The trust does its own math and pays from its own account. Same year, same $4,000, and 2 completely different sets of numbers underneath. 1 return says you earned it. 1 return says the trust earned it. Same $4,000 either way, only the name changed. 2 name lines. One of them is yours. Here's where your belief breaks. Irrevocable and non-grantor are not the same word. A trust gets locked away from you and still carries your name on the income. Your daughter reads this trust after a funeral, sees the lock, and never gets to the switch. One asks what you can still take, the other asks what the tax law still counts as yours. Lock describes what you gave up. Grantor status describes what the tax law says you kept. You give up control of the property and keep one narrow administrative power. The value left your hands. The tax on the income did not. Those two answers come apart and no letter announces it, and the letter has been sitting under all of it since the beginning. 9 digits, no answer. Everything from here lives on one side of that switch. The trust that files its own return. A trust that keeps income keeps the tax on it. A trust that sends income out generally sends the tax with it. A form follows the money to whoever received it. It reports how much came through and what kind of income it was. Interest stays interest. Dividends stay dividends. Which means someone in your family opens an envelope in April. Your grandchild, your sibling, the person your trust exists for. They didn't choose the timing. They didn't set the amount. The trustee did, months earlier, by moving the money. They get a number on a form. Nobody attached an explanation. Nobody warned them, and the form arrives anyway.
So the switch throws, and one of those two name lines fills in. Which one depends on power, not on the word printed in your binder. In this case, you kept the power to swap property for property of equal value. You hold it in no fiduciary role, and no fiduciary has to approve it. That is the fork, and it points one way. I've watched people hunt for this answer everywhere except the shelf it's been sitting on. Your trust document is where it starts. Who holds those powers now and how your trust gets run, finish it. A qualified tax professional reads all 3 for a living. That reading is what settles it. The letter in the drawer never had your answer, only a number, and the question outlives you. Every filing year asks it again, off whoever holds the powers then. 9 digits identified your trust. The name you started inside is on your own 1040. That was the whole question. Whose return does your trust's income land on? Hey, if you have any questions you'd like for us to answer, leave them in the comments. We'll do a video on the most requested questions. And as usual, if you've learned anything, like, comment, and subscribe. See you on the next one.